This is an interesting story because it represents both good news and bad news. And when we're talking about Florida, I guess it's a surprise that we have good news at all. My name is Brittany Page, and this is the Page Perspective. We're just a few months away from Election Day 2024, where one decision about who runs this country has the potential to devastate and uproot so many systems as we know it. Donald Trump has made it clear that he has not yet made up his mind about where he stands on a national abortion ban, which means two things. Number one, he has no principles. No surprise, I know. Because if he did, he would, know where he stands on the issue of abortion rather than waiting for someone to explain what his electoral strategy on abortion will be. Yes. And two, he's going to move forward with a federal abortion ban. And if you think I'm being hyperbolic, you may not have been paying attention to the recent attempts to ban IVF or ban mifepristone. A national abortion ban would, of course, eliminate the right to abortion, and those blue states that you think of as safe havens, those would no longer be safe havens. We know a national abortion ban would be unpopular, and that is why Donald Trump and the Republican Party in general doesn't want to say it. But we should know what to expect by now, right? Say it with me. The worst. How do we know a national abortion ban would be unpopular? Let's just look at the recent results of a few ballot initiatives when it comes to abortion, even in red states. Looking at the Kaiser Family Foundation, quote, since Dobbs, 6 states, California, Kansas, Kentucky, Michigan, Vermont, and Ohio, have voted on abortion-related constitutional amendments, and the side favoring access to abortion prevailed in every state. Abortion is clearly a winning issue, which brings us to Florida, where, and this is the good news, the Florida Supreme Court ruled that voters can vote on an amendment to enshrine abortion rights, while simultaneously, and this is the bad news, allowing a 6-week abortion ban to go into effect. Reading from the Washington Post. Quote, Florida's conservative Supreme Court ruled Monday that the state's constitution does not protect abortion rights, allowing one of the country's strictest and most far-reaching abortion bans to take effect May 1st. But in a separate decision, the High Court also ruled that an amendment to enshrine abortion rights in the state's constitution can go on the November ballot for a vote that could undo the ban in a matter of months. So you see the good news, bad news going on here, right? I'm going to focus on the bad news before we get to the good news because some people are acting like this is only a victory, and it's not. A 6-week abortion ban is, in effect, a total abortion ban. Banning abortion at 6 weeks means banning abortion before women even know they're pregnant. And Florida's current abortion ban, which is 15 weeks, is still highly restrictive, to be clear. It will only become more restrictive on May 1st because of this ruling. And to get the full scale of the impact of this decision, I want you to look at this map of abortion bans in the states surrounding Florida. Florida was a state people could go to from the South to obtain abortion care before 15 weeks because, as you see in those southern states, there are full or near full bans on abortion. With Florida turning red on that map, joining the chorus of states with a full or near full abortion ban, all of the people in those surrounding states and the people in the state of Florida will now need to go somewhere else. And for many people, this obstacle of financing travel, arranging for childcare, or time off from a job, those obstacles will be too great. And that's exactly the point. And if this map isn't making that clear for you, let's turn to the Washington Post for the numbers. Quote, last year, more than 84,000 people got abortions in Florida, more than almost any other state, and far more than were previously reported in any of the 17 states that have now banned all or most abortions. The total number of abortions rose by nearly 2,000. Out-of-state residents comprised a growing percentage of the total, according to a report by the Agency for Healthcare Administration. Florida's current 15-week ban has already compelled many patients, including those with life-threatening pregnancy complications, to seek abortion care elsewhere. A 6-week ban in Florida will affect tens of thousands more people, forcing many to drive hundreds of miles to undergo the procedure. We know, because of valuable reporting from fantastic reporters like Bryce Covert, that abortion funds, funds who work with people that need assistance finding abortion care or funding travel for the procedure or traveling to that procedure, we know that abortion funds have been struggling to keep up with demand. As she writes in her tweet here, quote, "Abortion funds were already stretched incredibly thin. The Tampa Bay Abortion Fund had to close for a month last year and then reopened, serving fewer people even before the 6-week ban. Now with the ban, it expects each caller to need at least $1,000. And she follows that up with an important link to donate to the Tampa Bay Abortion Fund, which I will also link in the sources in the description below. So this situation is about to become more dire for a significant number of people, whether they live in surrounding states or they live in Florida. And I know I've been promising the good news, although in the context of everything we just covered, good doesn't exactly feel like the best word. But yes, it is true that the electorate will have several months to feel the effects of what is essentially a total ban on abortion. And this will likely prompt them to mobilize like they have in so many other states since Roe was overturned. The odds are in our favor that Floridians will mobilize to protect abortion rights when given the choice. Yes, this move by the Florida Supreme Court also ensures that abortion really will be a key issue for the general election in November. And given how popular abortion rights are, this could hurt Trump. And we all know that that is very positive. And while it's hard to find the positives, I think we should cling to these while also working to balance the political realities here, that many people will be suffering in the meantime while we wait for the electorate to mobilize to protect abortion rights. And this should make it more clear than ever what's at stake in this election, but also what's at stake when we fail to take every measure we can to protect abortion rights. Even if Florida votes in favor of the proposed constitutional amendment to enshrine abortion rights, it would still only protect abortion, quote, before viability. A law professor at the University of California, Davis, who specializes in abortion, Mary Ziegler, highlighted this issue in the Washington Post. Quote, "In the ruling on the amendment," Ziegler noted, "the justices emphasized that any new constitutional protections for abortion could conflict with, quote, personhood rights as applied to the unborn child. That language signals that the state Supreme Court could still intervene to restrict abortion rights no matter what happens in November," she said. What should this tell you? It should tell you that the Republican Party in this country will stop at nothing to ban abortion. They will try every tactic. They will approach it from any angle they can to achieve the goal. And if they achieve their goal, people will be harmed. People will die. So the GOP will try to soften their approach with the public, but we all know what's in their hearts. Remember what's at stake. Florida, do the right thing. Let's go. You know, usually at the end of my videos, I ask that if you value this work, and if the answer is yes, that you value the work, I ask you to support me by becoming a member. But today, I'm going to skip that. And I'm going to ask that if you have an extra few dollars to spare, that you donate to an abortion fund. It can be the Tampa Bay Abortion Fund. It can be the National Abortion Federation. There are numerous organizations out there doing crucial work to ensure people are not trapped by their circumstances, not trapped in poverty, not trapped in abusive relationships, not trapped in any way that they do not want to be trapped, not forced to carry a pregnancy they do not want to or they cannot carry. Reproductive freedom is such a fundamental freedom for people to create the lives they see for themselves. And as we get closer to November, I hope you pay special attention to these stories and raise hell in your social networks. Let's fight this together. I'd love to know what you think about this, 657-464-7609, or you can send an email to idoubitit@dollamore.com. I'm going to thank my most recent members. Here they are. Comedgen Goodnuff, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, Wizard of Frobaz, and Willflow. Thank you for keeping me on my toes and testing me there. I appreciate your support. Thank you so much. Feel free to mix it up in the comments below because I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this. Take care, and I will see you next time.